everyone, and welcome to Festival of the Girl 2020 and happy International Day of the Girl. I'm Tassy and I'm a chef, and today we're going to be talking all things seasonal autumn food, plus we're going to be making some delicious pear and chocolate pancakes which would be perfect for breakfast or brunch. So before we do any cooking, I'm just going to explain to you what seasonal means when it comes to your food. So obviously we've got spring, summer, autumn and winter, and at each of those times of year there are different fruits and vegetables that taste at their best then, and they're ready to be picked, they're really juicy and they're really flavoursome. So at the moment we're in autumn, so I'm going to now take you through my top 5 seasonal fruits and vegetables of autumn that you can look out for in the supermarket or maybe try at home to see just how good they are. Right, my top 5 fruits and vegetables of the season start off with the pumpkin. Now, some of you probably recognise the pumpkin as something that you might carve at Halloween, but they're actually really tasty to eat as well. So one of the ways in which you can cook them is just roasting the flesh with some spices, and you can have that with a savoury meal. But my favourite way to eat them is if you grate it into a cake batter, cook that up, and then it's like an autumn version of a carrot cake. Really tasty. But also with pumpkins, if you look around the supermarket, you might find some really cool, interesting, different shapes and colours. So here I've got a green and yellow one, which is really little if you look at my head, but you can also eat that. And then even smaller, we've got this tiny little munchkin pumpkin, which because it's white, lots of people call a ghost pumpkin. That would make great decoration at Halloween, and then you can eat it afterwards, so you're not wasting anything, which is always a good thing. Secondly, I really like potatoes. So potatoes are actually at their best in the UK in autumn, although we do eat them all year round. You might like them mashed or roast with your Sunday lunch, but I actually like to make chips at home with them, and you might like to try that too. With a helper, you just slice this up with some olive oil and salt and pepper, and then pop them in the oven for about 20 or 25 minutes at about 180 degrees, and then you've got your own chips, and you could maybe recreate fish and chips at home, which is really fun. Now, my third favourite seasonal fruit in this case is the plum. So plums come in different colours. Here I've got some yellow ones. They're actually the sweetest variety, but you might be more familiar with the purple ones. They're all really soft, really juicy and sweet. And if you're lucky, you might find some green ones as well. And those are called green gages. So they're not exactly plums, but they're in the plum family, and they look just like this, but they're green. With plums, I really like to bake them into a pie or a tart, or even a crumble with some lovely spices, so nice warming spices for autumn. But you can just eat them like this, and they're really tasty. Next up, and one you might not have tried, is the fig. So they're quite small, but they do come in varying sizes, but they're usually about that big. They're purple on the outside, and if I just open this one up, they are red on the inside and really soft. They taste a little bit like jam. So if you're looking for something a little bit unusual or something you've never tried before, this one is definitely one to go for. In terms of how to enjoy them, I like just eating them like this, but you could also get your helper to pop them in the oven with maybe some cinnamon or some vanilla and a little bit of honey, and roast them until they go really, really soft, and then have them with some yogurt as pudding or as breakfast. So great, either way. And finally, one of my favourite things in autumn are pears. Now, apples and pears are really commonly eaten, maybe as a snack. You might have them in your lunchbox, but they're also, they can be used in all different ways. So I like to bake with them. You may be able to tell that I like to bake. I think I've said that for every fruit or vegetable. But also, if you're feeling a little bit experimental or you want to try something really cool and new, you could have a slice of pear with a little bit of cheese, so you've got sweet and savoury, and it's a really, really nice flavour. So I definitely challenge you to try that at home. But today we are going to grate this pear into pancake batter with some chocolate chips. So yeah, that's what we're making. And if you're going to cook along with me, go and wash your hands and we'll go and do some cooking. Right, now I'm going to take you through what you're going to need for the recipe. In terms of equipment, you'll need a big mixing bowl like this one, a wooden spoon and a whisk, and then a frying pan, but we'll get to that later. And then in terms of ingredients, you need 1 egg, 1 pear which has been grated up, 130 millilitres of milk, whole or semi-skimmed, 140 grams of plain flour, a bit of butter for cooking, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of cinnamon and a pinch of salt, 2 tablespoons of caster sugar, and then 75 grams of chopped dark chocolate or chocolate chips. And if you don't like dark chocolate, you prefer milk chocolate, you can use that, or even substitute those for nuts. So let's get cooking. So the first thing we want to do is put all our dry ingredients into the bowl. So in we go with the plain flour, the baking powder, cinnamon and salt, the caster sugar, and that's it. Now we just want to mix those ingredients together so that they're nicely combined. And for that I'll use the wooden spoon. Once they're combined, I'll make a little well in the middle. Put that to the side. And now we're just going to add in the wet ingredients. So first of all, we'll add the milk. Then the egg. Give it a tap on the side, making sure we don't get any of that shell in there. The pear. And then we just give it a whisk so it's nice and smooth. And last of all, just add in those chocolate chips and give it a good stir. Now we're going to take this mixture and make some pancakes. So as you can see, I've moved over to my frying pan and I added in the butter into the pan, and once it was foaming I added in 3 little mounds of our pancake batter, and once they form bubbles on the surface I'm just going to turn them over and then I'll show you what they look like. So this is what they look like once they've been turned over. So now I'm just going to cook these through and then put them aside and use up the rest of the batter, and then I'll show you how I like to serve them. Okay, so these are the pancakes when they're finished, and I've just stacked up 3, so 2 or 3 per person is perfect. And then to serve them, I'm just going to top them with a little bit of yoghurt, and then secondly some honey as well. You could also do a little bit of dark chocolate if you wanted to, but that for me is perfect. And that's it. I hope you found it interesting learning about autumn and all the seasonal fruits and vegetables that come with it. I am going to go and eat these pancakes now. I hope you're going to try them too. Bye!